My Tabor City home here, and today we're going to be talking about these orphan plants that we like to get so much. And that's what we're doing. Let's do it. Okay, so we have our wheelbarrow here full of orphan plants. Now I'm sure you're thinking to yourself that that looks about like a wreck right there. Why in the world would this guy ever spend his hard-earned dollars on these plants? Well, you know, a plant like this, when they come brand new to the store, $5.98. So $5.98, it's a perennial. It will come back year after year, and you know, it just hadn't been treated well. Hadn't been treated well at the store. They didn't water it properly, take care of it, and so it got to looking pretty rough. So the stores, rather than letting the inventory just die and not recovering anything from them, they sell them. In this particular plant, we went from $5.98 to 25 cents. Okay, so we picked this plant up, 25 cents. This is actually probably a 2-year-old plant, maybe a year-old plant. It will be a good size next year. And let me show you a couple of the things I look for when I buy these plants. There's some orphan plants I just won't buy. A good case in point is if you go and you're looking through the bargain bin or the clearance bin or whatever it is at the store, and the soil in the plant is just absolutely soggy as you can get, I don't invest in those, because what happened is they got like this, they dried out, they didn't get enough water, and then somebody come along and is absolutely just soaked them to death in water thinking it's going to revive them, and you can drown the plant pretty easy. And the orphans that I've gotten in the past that I haven't been able to do anything with, those are the ones that have been just absolutely drowned. But these plants that I picked up today, even though they're orphans, you know, they've got a little bit of new growth coming on them. So look right here, we do see it's got some new growth, so it is trying. You know, it's got some things going on, and it's looking a little bit rough. But if you look down here at the base, you see it's got some new green growth coming along here. It's got some new green growth coming along here. This plant, with a little bit of love, a little bit of water, a little bit of fertilizer, taken care of, is going to flourish. It's got everything it wants to have in order to be a good plant. And it's showing you signs of that. It's saying, hey, I've been stressed. I wasn't fed properly, but nonetheless, I'm giving it my best shot. A plant like this, if we get rid of the parts that need to be gotten rid of, a plant like this will bounce back, and it will absolutely amaze you. So let me grab another one. I'll show you what I mean on a different one. Okay, so here we have an example of some helenums. Helenums, however you want to say it. They have these beautiful little orangey yellow flowers. Depending on the variety you get, some of the flowers can get darker than others. These plants are pretty much coming to the end of their bloom season. So, you know, there's all the seeds for them. You know, they're trying to give it their best. They've done their job. And they're pretty much at the end of their season. This is, don't get me wrong, this is somebody didn't appropriately water them, but this is also, hey, you know, I fulfilled my mission, and now I'm ready to go to bed for the rest of the summer. So again, look at the soil. Soil is bone dry. You can stick your finger all the way down in there, absolutely no moisture whatsoever. But again, look at the base. See the base of these plants. They are trying their best to grow some decent roots. So these plants here, let's see. This plant was $9.98. No, this plant was $9.98. We're down to $1. This plant was $5.98, And again, we're down to $1. Okay? So, and the last one we're going to talk about is this little grass here. Muscana, I think is what it's called. Anyways, $1 is what they were originally marked at. Then, if you can see right here, they've marked that plant down to 25 cents. So, 25 cents, you're going to get a little bit of a good border grass. You know, it's going to stand about 18 inches tall. I have a place over here by the fire poker plant that I wanted to put those. I think they should end up being absolutely beautiful. But, you know, I bought 6, 10, 12. I bought 12 plants, and realistically, I spent about $6 on the whole lot of them. So, and the most expensive ones were the Helenums. So, they were all $1 a piece. So, if you have patience and you are willing to kind of baby a plant a little bit this year, make sure it gets established well before the fall comes and everything goes to bed for the winter, and then just take care of it next summer, you will get fantastic plants out of this. You're not going to get it this year, but you are going to have a great plant next year, and you are going to know you got bang for your buck out of it. So let's get the plant. Let's see what happens. All right, so here we are. Now, there are two schools of thoughts when you're dealing with these kind of plants here that just have all this stuff going on here. And I'm going to kind of show you how I address these plants when it comes to trimming them up before we get them planted. So, this stuff here is still showing you active growth. If you look down here at the junctions where the flowers come, you're still seeing leaves going there. So, even though this doesn't look great, that will continue to fall off. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here, we're going to prune right there at the base. This one here is dead as well. We're going to prune that. But if you look, we're not going to prune this one. Okay? We have good growth here. We have new growth starting there. So we're not going to prune any of that. Alright? So the other thing we will do is we will come up here and we're just going to top it. Take top off of that part. And then we're going to plant this thing. But when we plant it, we're going to come over here and we are going to get the magic coffee can. So, coffee can. It's full of fertilizer. I just use a regular old 10-10-10 fertilizer. I buy it at Walmart. So, look at the plant. It is starting to get root bound. Alright? So we're just going to muss this up a little bit. We're not going to tear everything up. We're just going to muss it up a little bit. We're just going to tell it, hey, get ready. It's time for you to get into some action. Alright? But, so we can see, we're going to plant this thing so that top of the plant is in line with top of the soil. But we're going to have to put all this soil around it. And because of that, one of the things I want to do is tell this plant, hey, listen, you got a home, we're going to take care of you. You know, your bad days are over. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of that 10-10-10 right on this soil. Then I'm going to work that into that soil. And then we're just going to push that soil all the way around this plant. So as this plant tries to figure out, hey, listen, you know what's going on, I'm starting to get a little bit of water. It's going to say, by the way, I'm starting to get some food, some nutrients I can get into. And what it's going to do, it's going to take all them roots that it has that right now are used to being bound up in that pot, and it's going to say, holy moly, not only are we not constricted anymore, but there's actually some pretty good nutrients out here available to us. And that's what I do. Now, if you'll notice, there's a little bit of a shape around this. I do that purposefully so that when I come through and I water it, the water is gonna come down It's going to sit in here like a bowl, and it's going to help you get this thing completely watered. I will water this maybe not every day, but maybe every other day, depending, for about the first 2 weeks. And then after that, I'll probably water it twice a week, and then after that, I'll probably let it go. And what I'll do is I'll gauge it, because I'll be looking for this new growth and see what that new growth is doing. And as long as that new growth is, you know, looking more lively, it's getting stronger, it's getting larger, you know, then I'm gonna know I'm on track. Things start looking bad. The first thing is, if you go to rescue a plant and you're watering a plant and you're taking care of it like this, and it starts looking a little sickly, well, make sure you plant it in the right place. If it's this full sun, you know, I can tell you that here in here in southeastern North Carolina, a lot of times when manufacturers or growers say that a plant likes full sun, they ain't talking about our sun, because we got lots of sun. And I have burned some plants up hanging tight with them, saying, well, they say they want full sun, and leaving them out here in the sun. So that doesn't always work. So you might need to move the plant. But the first thing, before I move it, I just stop watering it. And what I try to see is, am I flooding the plant? I'll stop watering it for a couple days. If it bounces back and says, hey, thanks, you know, I know that I was going too hard on watering it too much. And again, get in there with your finger, poke around that plant. If the soil feels moist and the plant's looking kind of gloomy, you know, it's not that it's too dry. These plants got too dry. So, other than that, here's my arch nemesis here, the millipede. Those things eat the caladiums up. Other than that, the other thing you may have to do is, you know, here in the sun in southern North Carolina, sometimes I have to move a plant around again to get it half a day's shade so that it's not fully exposed to the sun all day, because, you know, I burnt some plants up doing that. So just play with them. I'm going to tell you, you know, if you're a patient person, and I believe anybody who really likes gardening has a lot of patience, which I'm learning. If you're a patient person, going through the big box stores, go into their clearance area at the plant department and looking to see what they have. You're not going to have some stunning English tea garden this year, but you are definitely making an investment for the future, and an investment to, you know, see what you end up with next year, and it can pay off pretty good. So, my Tabor City home to you. Go out and take a chance on some of them plants. They'll surprise you. You'll love them. I got a marigold over there that's big around as a pine tree, and that thing was a quarter, and it started out as a little fellow. So, anyways, God bless.